That's how the far right works. It turns justified anger of people, and we are entitled to be angry about Dara O'Brien not building bloody houses. I'm angry about it. We're entitled to be angry. But they turn that justified anger on Ukrainians, on Afghans fleeing the Taliban, on Syrians fleeing al-Assad. And unfortunately, they've hit on an issue at this moment in time that has connected. Their agenda is hate. They hate different colour, different culture, different language, different nationality. It's amazing they manage to coalesce internationally themselves at all, but they do. So that's their agenda. Their agenda is to promote hate. Their effect is to misdirect justifiable anger on issues such as housing onto people who don't deserve that anger, Ukrainians fleeing war. But their other effect, and this was the effect in Germany in the 1930s, their other effect is to protect the people who are really causing the problems. Oxfam published a report a couple of weeks ago. 2 people in this country own as much wealth as the bottom 50%. The protests aren't directed at those 2 people. The protests aren't directed at the tax scammers. The protests aren't directed at the people sitting on land banks not building public housing. The protests are pointed at black people, at people from other countries, at people from other races and other religions. It's about hate.
And how then do you speak to those people who are protesting because they are angry about all of the things that they should be angry about, as you describe it? They're justifiably angry about housing, they're justifiably angry about health, they're justifiably angry about poverty, whatever it happens to be, they're justifiably angry over. And their anger and their frustration and maybe their marginalisation has been co-opted by these malign actors on the right. How do you... And maybe this is a question I'm asking to the media, and I don't want to get kind of accused of navel-gazing too much here, but how do you speak to those people and address those issues without being accused of kind of platforming these fringe elements?
Well, look,
because kind of when temperatures get heated, suddenly nuance. It's very hard to find the kind of the nuance in the middle. Well,
it is. First of all, what's lacking here in working class people who are being sucked in, who are genuinely angry and sucked in, what's lacking is what I call, might sound like a dinosaur here, but what's lacking here is a class analysis. What's lacking here is an awareness among the working class, and it's mostly happening among the working class, and I'm working class. What's lacking here is an awareness among certain segment of the working class as to why we are suffering, why we aren't getting houses, why we aren't getting the public services that our taxes pay for, and why other people are getting away with not all that stuff, right? So that's lacking. So the solution then is to have conversations like this, to go into the communities, to deal with people at a local level, to smally educate, to bring awareness, to bring discussion, and that is happening. You know, people are doing that in political parties. What's also necessary, and I am going to challenge the media, Kieran, not you per se, but I am going to challenge the media. I was having conversations with journalists in this town, coffees, a couple of years ago, when the Gemma O'Doherty stuff was running amok, right? And I made a complaint to the police about that, and I was discussing with some journalists, and there was a clear narrative then. Don't platform it, don't give it attention, it'll go away. It doesn't go away. They wait until the right issue comes along. Repeal wasn't the right issue. COVID wasn't quite the right issue. Masks wasn't the right issue. But now, with the international emergency of 100 million displaced people, they've hit on an issue.